So very quickly, let me just um, focus in on what we're doing here. Listen, the name of the website is craftsneedlework.com. This is a login page, and I'm just gonna get straight to the point. I sent you the password login in your email. All right. Now, when you log in, okay, okay, right. Now, when you log in, Prento, the first thing you're going to see is just normally like this. What I want you to do in this particular occasion, right, is to include the categories, right? But instead of actually selecting a category from Jumpstart, from every single time you're putting in a post, what you're going to basically do is you're going to click on post here, and you're going to click on categories, right? Now, when you select the categories here, you're going to put in a category name, right? These are just some of the categories that I had to put in when I was doing the sales ones. Now, for the needlework one, what you're going to basically do is that you're going to go ahead and look on the article itself. I think this is it here, right? And you're going to look on the article itself, and you're going to try and sift through to basically say which ones can be considered as categories. This probably here is like thimble, pins, stiletto. What I'm going to ask Mikey to do is that I'm going to ask Mikey to send you over the chapters and subchapters, to scan the subchapters and subchapters for it. That would give you a better idea of where exactly it is in terms of what to actually use, because in a particular chapter you're going to have it fall under a particular chapter, like bonding would fall under a particular chapter. I had told Mikey not to remove it, not to remove the chapters. Here it says basic weaves. I don't know why Mikey removed the basic weaves. I'm not sure if that is actually a chapter. So you have basic weaves, then you have plain weave, then you have satin weave, then you have pile weave. You know that would come under weaves or basic weaves as a particular category. You have mixture fabrics, I'm not sure, knitted fabric, that would probably come under a category of fabrics. So basically what I want you to actually do is to go in and find the ones that fit, that basically fit a particular category. So I'm going to put in one here that I have seen. So I'm going to say weaves, right? And once I add that, you don't put anything in here, no category slug, no parent, and you don't bother add a description. You just go ahead and click on add. And once you click on add here, it comes up here, weaves. Sometimes when you're trying to add it, it might end up with a common letter as the beginning letter. It should always be a capital letter. So you have uncategorized capital U, weaves, and a capital W. So that's basically a printer that I really actually wanted to do. Now, when you're posting, right, and you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna add a new post, right, and you put in, and let's assume that it's the name on it. It is actually post. Now you might put in weaves. Now there's a quick thing I wanted to show you, because when you come down here, what happens is that you'll actually see the name of the page. So it will actually be weaves. Now let's assume that I had actually decided to edit this and said it was called weaves lifting, right? Or let's just cancel it. Let me just show you another one. Let me just add new, right? And I'm going to add a new one here, and I'm going to call it Prento Weaves, right? I'm going to click down here, and you're going to see the name of the page pop up, which is Prento-Weaves. Now, because of that fact, you don't want to have, if you come up with an extremely long title, the entire long title is going to be in here, right? So what you want to actually do is that you would actually go ahead and say Prento Weaves, and that's the keyword that you want, and then you're going to go down to the all-in-one SEO pack, and you might say learn how to do Prento Weaves, and that's actually the name or the title of the page, right? But you want to ensure that this has something to do with Prento Weaves, especially in a case where you have the word crafts and you have the word needlework already. You might find that the word needlework might come up twice in the URL. You don't want that. So let's assume that you had printers, weaves, and needlework. You would just put printers, weaves. Now you would put in all your information here. Remember to get the kitchen sink. You just press on that. Another thing that I realized that you haven't been doing is actually when you put in the information and you drop in all the data here, you don't actually justify it so that it align it properly. This which is actually called justify. And once you do that, right, you put in printers weave, you go ahead and click publish. Right? Once you've published it, this is not going to change unless you decide to go in there and edit it. And when you do that now, you can copy here and carry it up here and click on, put that in here, and then you just click on update. Right? And then it won't change the URL, because what would end up happening is that the entire URL would be learn how to do printers weaves, and then all that would be stretched out in the URL, making the URL extremely long and not SEO friendly. So that's one thing I wanted to point out to you in terms of making the URLs SEO friendly and not having the entire of it jumbled up. Now, if it was a case where you had Prento needlework, right? Because needlework is already in there, right? You wouldn't put needlework twice. You just actually put Prento, right? You just put Prento, because once you put Prento, it's going to come there, and the keyword needlework is already in the URL, and then the word Prento would be in the URL, which are the two words we need to have in the URL. All right. So that's basically it in terms of posting, right? And then once you've done that and sorted that out, when you're publishing it, always select the category. Uncheck on categorize, and select weaves, because that's it. Weaves right there. Ensure that you don't have any comments, because we don't want any comments. And then you just go ahead and click on publish, and that's it. Less than 2 minutes to publish one once you've done that. So I'm going to call Mike, and have him scan that so we can get the categories properly. So if you have any problems, hit me up back on the Gmail thing. All right.